So, this is my first Minecraft hardcore video in English, and I'm just gonna say now, my English is not perfect, but that's actually one of the reasons I'm doing this. I want to get better, and apparently the best way to practice English is by trying to survive a Minecraft hardcore world. So yeah, this is the start of my new hardcore world, one life, no second chances, and hopefully not too many embarrassing mistakes. In the game, I mean, the English mistakes are probably staying. First things first, I needed a world, so I clicked single player, created a new hardcore world, then I added a totally serious seed, clicked create world and hoped for a decent spawn. And then the world finally loaded. I spawned on top of a tree, and like every Minecraft world, I started by collecting wood, crafted my first crafting table, and then immediately did something very smart. I didn't use it. Instead, I walked around for a while with a crafting table in my inventory. Eventually, I finally pressed down the crafting table, crafted a wooden pickaxe, and started mining some stone. And because this world apparently already hated me, a creeper showed up and blew me up. After that little jump scare, I just kept mining stone like nothing happened. And eventually, I had enough to craft some stone tools. After crafting my new tools, I did the most logical thing possible. I went straight back to mining stone, and then of course, another creeper appeared behind me. But this time I actually managed to kill it. After that extremely intense fight, I completely forgot why I was even mining stone in the first place. So instead of finishing what I started, I did what I apparently do best. I started wandering around again. And let's just call that exploration, okay?
3 hours later.
Eventually, all that wandering around started to have consequences. I was getting hungry, so I finally did something useful and crafted a furnace and cooked some food. Once the food was finally cooked, I started wandering around again, but this time I actually had a reason. I wanted to find a village, and somehow, not too far from spawn, I actually found one. And as soon as I got there, I grabbed a bed, got some food from the local sheep population, and took down the iron golem for some easy iron. Was it morally questionable? Yes. Was it useful? Also yes. Then it started getting dark and I realized I have to save the villagers, mostly because I care about them and definitely not because I already planning to use them for cheap labor later. So I locked everyone inside their houses and slept in some random guy's bed. Day 2 started with me collecting wheat from the village, and by collecting I mean stealing. After that I found a small cave nearby, so I went in and grabbed some iron. I wanted to explore the cave a little more, because there was probably more iron than there, but then I remembered something important. I am, unfortunately, a little bitch, so instead of going deeper, I took my iron and went back to the surface. After that I decided it was probably time to have some kind of temporary base, so I chose one of the village houses, claimed it as my own, and placed down my furnace, my crafting table. Then, for some random reason, I decided this was the perfect time to build a very basic animal farm. Nothing crazy, just a few cows, a few sheep, and some very questionable hole in the ground. So yeah, enjoy the montage. After finishing this absolutely massive mega farm, I realized I had another problem. My inventory was getting full, so I placed down a couple of chests, dumped most of my inventory into them, and used the iron I had to craft a bucket, an iron pick, and an iron sword. I also placed down a bed and went to sleep because day 2 was officially over. Day 3 started with me filling up my bucket. After that, I went looking for some more food and leather, which basically meant killing the few animals around the village. Then I planted some sugarcane near the water because eventually I was gonna need paper for books and enchantments. Later that day I decided it was time to start looking for diamonds. So I picked a spot near the village and started digging my first mine. The plan was simple: go down, find diamonds and hopefully not die underground. But after a while all I found was more iron, so I went back to the surface, smelted it and crafted myself a full set of armor. While I was digging, I heard a bat nearby, and that usually means there's a cave somewhere close, so obviously I started digging towards the sound, because more caves means more chances to find diamonds. After digging towards the sound for a while, I finally found the cave, and almost immediately, as soon as I turned the first corner, I found diamonds. Actual diamonds, and the best part was it wasn't just one or two. The vein was actually pretty big. So I mined the diamonds and then decided to explore the cave a little more. At this point I had diamonds, a full iron armor and slightly more confidence than before. Probably too much confidence. While I was mining more diamonds in the cave, I suddenly ran into a group of skeletons and my confidence disappeared immediately. I had diamonds, a full iron armor, and somehow I still panicked and ran away. Maybe I overreacted a little bit, but in my defense, this is hardcore, so I hid in a corner for a second and waited until my brain started working again. Oh, and
Ooh,
I
piece
found
of
more
cake.
diamonds while running away. So obviously I stopped to mine them and then continued running for my life. After running away for a while, I started looking for a way out, which sounds easy, until you remember that I have absolutely no sense of direction. So somehow, instead of finding the surface, I ended up getting lost in a cave full of water. At this point, I wasn't even exploring anymore, I was just trying to leave. After spending way too long looking for the exit, I finally saw light, actual sunlight. So I climbed back up to the surface and somehow I made it out alive. Once I was back to the surface, I found a wandering trader near the village, so I gave him a warm welcome. After that, I went back to base and went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up with a brand new diamond pickaxe and also a diamond axe. You didn't see me craft them, because apparently pressing record is harder than surviving hardcore. Anyway, with my new tools ready, I went looking for some lava, because it was time to build a nether portal. After searching for a while, I finally found a lava pool, so I used my water bucket, turned some of the lava into obsidian, and started mining with my diamond pickaxe. I needed enough obsidian for my first nether portal, and also for an enchanting table. Once I got back to base, it was finally time to craft, so I crafted an enchanting table, after definitely remembering the recipe on the first try. Before building the portal though, I decided to set up the enchanting table first, so I placed it down, added the bookshelves around it, and got my first basic enchanting setup ready. After setting up the enchanting table, I realized I was starting to run low on iron. At this point, I was going to need a lot of more of it, so instead of mining it for it again, I decided to build an iron farm. First, I had to prepare all of the materials and clear out an area for the farm. Clearing out the area took way longer than it should have, but thanks to the power of editing, you only had to watch a couple of seconds of it. Anyway, with the area finally cleared, it was time to start building. Oh, and by the way, I also forgot to install replay mode, so this part is going to be in first person. Not ideal, but we're working with what we have. Oh yeah, I also built an AFK fishing farm. Never used it. Very important project. And finally, it was time to go into the Nether. I needed XP, and quartz was probably the easiest way to get it. So the plan was simple. Go in, mine as much quartz as I could, then come back and use those levels to get my first real enchantments. So I started mining a tunnel, looking for some more quartz, and even found some ancient debris, which was great, until my 5080 decided to try to kill me, with the biggest lag spike of the entire run. Nothing else to say, just watch. After that whole lag spike situation, I had more than enough of the Nether, so I ran straight back to the portal, got out of there, and decided to do something a little bit safer. Back at base, I enchanted a shovel and somehow got efficiency 4, which was actually perfect because it was time to prepare the area for my first real house. I chose a spot on top of a small mountain because apparently building a starter house on a flat ground was too easy. Also, since I'm lazy, I'm just gonna speed up the video and let you watch the progress. Eventually, it was time to gather the wood I needed to actually build the house, so I went to a nearby forest, picked a few trees, and by a few, I mean, I started removing half of the forest. After gathering the wood, it was finally time to start building. I had the area ready, I had the materials, and now I just had to turn all of this into an actual house. Hey there, future Nekuro here. While editing the video, I realized that the footage of me building the basement is completely gone. Very nice. And this time, I actually did record it. The problem is, my disk filled up, and I'm pretty sure the file got corrupted. But basically, under the house, I built a round basement with a small enchanting room on the side, and an automatic smelter on the other. You don't get to see the full building process, because apparently my storage decided to betray me. But the basement is here, it exists, and we are just going to pretend this was planned. And that's where I'm going to end the first episode of this hardcore world. We survived caves, found diamonds, built a temporary base, made an iron farm, went into the Nether, almost got killed by my own graphics card, and finally built the first real house. In the next episode, I want to keep upgrading the base, get better enchantments, and hopefully start preparing for some bigger projects. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.